Cyril Ramaphosa will tomorrow unveil his long-awaited COVID-19 economic recovery plan to Parliament. And we speak to NUMSA's Irvin Jim just to get a sense of what they think the president should prioritize. Mr. Jim, I certainly hope the line is better now. All eyes will be on the president tomorrow. What are you hoping to hear from him?
Well, we think that both COVID-19 and the economic junk state, basically what it imposes to the country is a situation where we basically need to accept that for the past 2 decades, government would have pursued macroeconomic policies that have failed to deliver fundamental structural changes in the economy. And from where we stand, I think now what government needs to do is to take forward what works and basically move away from the current macroeconomic framework, which has been dictated to us by fear, which is growth, employment, and redistribution, and basically go for expansionary budgets, which must ensure that we stimulate economic growth. The bottom line is that there is no demand, and many people are worried about the consolidation of the debt, and at the same time they want to ask to resolve that problem. That what we need to do is to cut wage bills, is to go for austerity measures. We want to be upfront that that will not work. What the president needs to do is to come up with an expansionary budget so that we can stimulate economic growth and ensure that manufacturing in particular is harnessed by defending the current capacity. From where we're sitting, we expect government to be pushing for moratorium on job losses and to protect the current capacity for manufacturing and champion industrialization.
And Mr. Jim, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, but I want to ask you this. When it comes to the arrests that we have been seeing in recent days, the SIU is also trying to recoup some of the monies that have been lost to corruption. Do you think he should also be, looking into this to ensure that we do get this money back into the fiscus, particularly to give some kind of a cushion, especially during this pandemic?
Well, we have maintained consistently as NUMSA that the fight against corruption is not a single battle in a single front. We must fight corruption, we must reclaim whatever money, but we must also accept as a country that our huge problem, corruption, is a product of a greedy system, which is capitalism. We actually need to accept that we need to break away from this system of greed and advance humanity, because capitalism breeds corruption and all social ills. Our own experience is that the private sector is extremely more corrupt. Every day we're discovering companies doing transfer pricing and so forth. So it's both the public sector and the private sector. And our view is that if we are to overcome, we must dump capitalism and go for socialism.